2023. We are all of Kinda Funny and oh so many of your favorite IGN hosts. Thank you all for coming.
Give it up, give it up, give it up.
Of course, ladies and gentlemen, this is no ordinary Kinda Funny Games Daily. We are kicking off IGN Cross Kinda Funny Extra Life 2023, where right now we are starting a 7-hour stream to raise money for the big, beautiful kids. If you didn't know, you can go to kindafunny.com/extra life right now to donate. What you are donating to is the Children's Miracle Network Hospital Foundation, right? You can go there. You could donate to us. We're raising money for UCSF Benioff Hospital here in San Francisco. Of course, you could more importantly join Team Kinda Funny and raise money for a children's hospital in your neck of the woods. What do? You just play games, Brian.
Yeah, that's it.
It's
you
simple.
just hang out, play games, kick in some money, and help people out.
There's none of this walking,
Nope.
the run-in, the relay, and no. You just play video games.
It's
you put
super
up your
easy.
links and do that.
You've done it before.
We've done it many times. You've played games many times for too long.
Unless you're a fake gamer, and then maybe this will be your first time, and we'll make fun of you.
Sure, of course. So you're talking about the PC gamers, of course.
Yeah, they're not real people.
No, of course
right?
not. You know what I mean?
I mean,
Already.
We gotta get them, ladies and gentlemen. Don't worry about it. Of course, there's so much happening today, but we are giving you Games Daily, where we'll talk about, of course, Insomniac teasing Daredevil fans, Bungie talking about the layoffs this week, and so much more, because this is Kinda Funny Games Daily. Each and every weekday on a variety of...
You're crushing it. Just keep rolling, man. No, you're doing good.
It's Games Daily, but if it's me and Brian hosting...
Yeah, that's right.
It
feels weird, right?
It really feels more like Up at Noon.
Yeah, and it's almost noon somewhere, right?
Yeah, I mean, we don't have like pizza to put the audience to sleep or anything.
No,
like,
we don't have big, heavy pizza to put the audience to sleep. But
Greg Atlas, is he here? No?
He's here. Yeah, he's somewhere. He's in the walls.
Okay. Barrett, hit the intro!
Oh my God. The jacket, you still have the jacket.
I should have done the tie ahead of time and I didn't, but
what I don't understand is like you're
DaveFanoy.com.
Okay, we still got it. We still got the mug.
Shout out to Roger Picorni who made sure the mug happened. Because when I was trying to get out of the house today, he was like, bring the Dave Fanoy mug.
Is this the one? Did it get smaller? Did we get bigger?
We got bigger. Our hands got bigger. As you can see, it faded in the sun because this was, and still is back home, my pen cup.
Your pen cup.
I keep my pens in there.
So
you know
how many years has that been a pen cup?
I mean, since we left, but look at it's getting this weird moire,
it is.
Picture a Dorian Gray because it sat in the window.
This is that sepia filter they put on all of the. Here we go. This is
the Ashley Johnson mug is here as well, of course.
I was thinking about the many guests that we had on Up at Noon over the years, including the version I did with Max and with you, obviously. And I was watching the hit film Donnie Brasco last night.
Okay. Wow. And a current one. Right. Current events. You're keeping up on everything.
Well, they boosted the price of Netflix, and I'm like, I gotta get the most of the subscription. Watch all the movies on there.
I like Tim ran around desperately today, going, "Did anyone watch Loki last night? I need someone to react to Loki." No one watched Loki.
Sorry, I was watching Donnie Brasco.
Donnie Brasco.
And Michael Madsen is in that movie.
Oh, yeah.
And I was thinking about when he came to do Up at Noon, and he came in, and he was very, very Michael Madsen, very stoic, very quiet, right? And he brought his son, and we gave, at the time at IGN, we had a whole library of games, and his son was a gamer, and Michael Madsen's not.
Yeah.
And his son went into the games library, the vault, and he pulled out like a Shrek game for the Nintendo Wii.
Yeah.
And Michael Madsen immediately started smiling and was kind of like, "You did good by my son. You gave him a good game. He's a happy kid. Thanks for having us." And we were like, all right. And he came in and had a great time with the interview and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And I really think it's because we gave his son a Shrek video game that
Years
made that day go
later,
so good.
his people hit me up again when we were at Kinda Funny.
Oh.
Like, hey, Michael Madsen's going to be in town. I was like, he's going to be in town on a Sunday. I'm like, we can't do anything. It didn't work out, but that was it. Well, for me, when I think of guests in the library, I think of Jason Mewes.
Yes.
We had Jay Mewes show up.
Yep.
Obviously, everybody knows I'm a huge Kevin Smith fan, so I grew up watching Jay and loving Jay. And so he's there, and remember, he came in like a bolt of lightning.
Yeah,
he had 3 espressos at the airport.
Yes, and then 3 or 4 more when he got to us.
And he's walking around reading his phone. He's like, yeah, I'm going to audition to be the lizard in Marvel Heroes today. We're like, we shouldn't know that. You don't say that. He's like, well, let me try it. He's like, hey, and he's like doing the lines and stuff.
Yep.
But the best was, he's been with us for hours. He's been with us for hours. And we're walking through, and he's like, yeah, I'm jonesing. I wish I could play some Call of Duty. We're like, oh, we got Call of Duty. You can play. And he goes, you guys got Call of Duty? And I remember his eyes when you open the game library and there's just thousands of video games. Like, he couldn't believe that IGN had the Call of Duty. Not like the unreleased new one, just the one that's been out for months at this point.
Do you remember you and me and, well, first of all, so we'll be honest, the show's, it's not here anymore, but we used to drink a lot before that show, or drink just enough before that show.
Just enough.
We would have like a Moscow Mule or two.
Yeah, well, that was the classic. Remember when we came in, the first time we ever did it, the show ended, everybody left, and Nick's like, hey, you guys hang back. And this is when Nick was actually respectable and a boss. He came over to me and he goes, and you? And he goes, did you guys drink before this episode? And we're like, yeah, we had like one or two. And he's like, do it every time.
Do it every time.
You finally weren't freaking out looking at the prompter.
David Hayter came and did our show.
Oh, God,
and
David Hayter,
I don't know where you got it, but you had an entire bottle of whiskey.
Yeah.
And he was kind of like, this is after the Kiefer Sutherland news came out.
Yeah.
So he was a little bummed.
I got nothing to lose.
Yeah. It was kind of like, who cares? Let's do it. And we crushed an entire bottle of whiskey with Solid Snake that day.
That was a good day.
We got good and drunk.
Yeah. It happened once or twice. It happened once or twice, and that was always the fun part about it. Yeah, no, shout out to Baker could drink. Ashley would drink, I remember.
Oh yeah, the Joel and Ellie would come by like several times and hang with us. It was a wonderful time. We really did our best.
What's going on with the game library these days at IGN? Is it in a box somewhere?
No, there's still. So I think it's in some boxes, and then there's a whole thing in San Francisco. There's just like a whole wall, but it's just weird when you see it like in one thing. Libraries have like rows, but this is just a long shelf. So you're just like, man, that's a lot of Wii U games,
right?
It's more interesting when you can turn the corner and be like, haha. Do you know how boring Ghostbusters would have been if it was just like one wall?
In, there's the ghost.
Yeah, just like 4 books fall off the shelf. And like, it's not interesting at all.
Over, it came and hit like the wall. It's like, I'm still okay.
Yeah, the external shot is just like the outside of like a tank. Just like a little building. There's nothing. It's not interesting at all.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, shout out to Dave Fenoy, to Greg Miller with 2 G's. Shout out to Max Scoville, who is in the building, who did several years. Come on in, Max. Who did several years of Up at Noon with me with a different logo. This was this logo is so old. This is when people used alarm clocks. Like, do you understand? Like this thing used to with the rotating.
Yeah.
It's all digital.
Children today, they look at that like, I don't understand what this reference is.
They're like, that was a dated alarm clock for like us even.
Yeah.
It's like you see that in like Tarantino movies, like click the little folded over letters.
Groundhog Day.
Well, I think the thing was at the time they were like, with the whole Up at Noon came from YouTube, came to IGN, and they're like, we need to do long form content. Everybody's only watching short stuff now. We want to compete with TV. And we gave them a 22-minute show with, if it had commercials, which it never did, it would have been 30 minutes. And that's, a sitcom. And they bought it. We took it on. They took it for a year, and then they walked away from us. We're like, we don't want this.
We don't need this anymore. Thank you very much.
I remember we made a pilot, and the guy in charge of the initiative at the time was this big businessman I can't remember the name of, and we showed
Brant.
him. Yeah, and we showed. Yeah, that's a good cartoon businessman name, Brant. We showed him the pilot, and he was like, we were like, did you watch it? And he was like, no, I got like a couple minutes in, and that was it. And we were like, oh, it's not that long. We worked really hard on it. But then I go back and I look at the first episode of that show, and it really looks like public access.
Oh my God. Yeah, because we had no lights.
Yep.
We didn't really have a set. It was like we
no makeup.
Yeah.
We were always so sweaty.
Yeah.
And
I had one of those moments, by the way, the other day.
What?
I tell that story all the time of like, when we got our first few Hollywood people in, and they'd be like, do you have makeup? And we'd have to go like beg Alexis or Naomi, like, do you have makeup in your bag? Can you do makeup? Like, we need help. And they would do
random guy.
And then eventually like Alexis like totally leaned into it, met her husband that way, and just like did the whole thing. And so it was like, okay, fine. The other day we had some people come up to do some kind of funny stuff, and they're like, by the way, do you have makeup? And I was like, wow, that's a blast from the past. So I'm like, no, we don't. No. But we got 2 bathrooms. We're pretty stoked about it.
Yeah, go for it. Go in there, do whatever you want.
Yeah.
The version of the show I did with Max was really funny because it changed formats so many times that it was hard to keep track of it. But that all just melts together in my head as something I really love doing.
Well, the weird thing was it was in limbo for 8 months, 9 months. Like I started right after Greg, after you left, and then we were like, one of the first things out the gate was like, get Up at Noon, up and running again. And we
like
shot,
that hit show.
we did 3 internal pilots that never saw the light of day.
Yeah.
And we kept and it was like we were doing like fake live stuff, and like Fran would be like, it's missing that special something. We got to.
There it is. Look at that.
Man.
You got like a little mustache going.
What the hell is that?
I don't even have that shirt anymore. I missed that shirt. I still have that jacket though. That jacket rules.
Yeah, this was the. We didn't always have that set behind us, did we?
No, that set's fake, by the way.
Yeah,
that's a JPEG.
We always pitched
That's how
cool
good
stuff
your wall
like
is.
Yeah.
we were gonna have like
Matt Scarpino.
different planets in the background. Like it was gonna be like different settings depending on what we're talking about, and that just never happened. We just had like the same like fake Captain America and liquor stuff behind us.
Yeah,
it was cool though.
Yeah, we had some great guests on that one. We had Alicia Vikander came and did Tomb Raider stuff with us.
Nice.
She talked about the movie. We had who played K2SO? Alan Tudyk?
Alan Tudyk, yeah, he was great.
Came on. He was fucking awesome. We can say fucking awesome here, right?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, cool.
We were worried about cursing for you guys, so
Oh, no, don't worry
curse
about
it up on our stuff.
You can't say fucking without IGN.
We should really have like a swear jar for charity.
Yeah, it's not a bad idea.
$kindafunny.com/extra
just for that. That's right. Yeah, check out that Extra Life. This was like when we started talking about this, we were like, we have to do some Up at Noon shape thing and just like hang out, get the boys together.
Yeah.
So.
Well, I appreciated like when I told Nick about it, I was like, maybe we'll do it on the Monday. Games Daily, and we'll make it a whole thing, and we'll get Craig Barrett on in here, and we got the hot tub. And last night I was driving home, like, we didn't do any of that. Me and Ryan are gonna BS. I don't even want to host the Games Daily, so I was like, I'm gonna pass the baton to everybody else and let them get out there and do it.
The original version of the show had a monologue that we would write like basically Thursday morning, right?
No. Remember, that's the thing. Like, originally when we had the start money, the YouTube money, that was when Drucker had freelance comedians, and we would have a 13-person round table actually read through it and see what's up and do all the stuff. It was amazing. And then as we lost the YouTube money and Drucker left, it just shrunk and shrunk and shrunk. So then it was you and me on a Thursday morning.
Now,
do you remember this?
Yes. Was this the pilot?
This is the pilot we thought we lost. But of course, Chris Ostertag never clears drives.
Oh my God.
So this is the original, never seen.
Bright-eyed young boy?
I know, never seen Up at Noon pilot here, where it's like, just ridiculous. The coat lived for a long time.
It's funny. It's just. I think it's the glasses made you look more evil. I think I remember helping with that Photoshop, by the way.
Of course you did. Of course.
Yeah,
you did.
that looks like the shitty motion blur I do in Photoshop.
Yeah. It's.
Yeah, but we had this JPEG of it was like a giant in a hot tub.
Yep.
And I don't remember.
He controlled the Earth's hot tub controls. Remember, that was it. That was our global warming joke that we did over and over.
Every time we didn't have an actual punchline, we were like, well, guess who it was? The giant in a hot tub.
Thank you, loyal 12 viewers. Yeah, that's another callback for you.
We put that up all the time. And then eventually, like, we kind of phased away from that. But yeah, we had writers' rooms, we had all of that, and we would just like wake up at 8 o'clock in the morning that morning, and then just finish off jokes. And then there was a bunch of times where we would do an episode and then get out and immediately be in trouble. And I had this with Max too, where we'd walk out into the editorial pit and be like, that was awesome. That felt really good. Like, great stuff, guys. Awesome show.
What was the last one we got scolded for? Do you remember?
Somebody was like, you can't say ass in the show.
Was that
and we were like, we put up murder videos every day. This is how to kill. There's like 20 how to kill people in Call of Duty videos on IGN now.
We did one that was like, it was like Duke Nukem quote or Trump quote. And Tal was like, and I was like, what? It works. It totally works. It's just, we're putting up there, trying to guess. You can't tell. Hard to say, but
we did our best. We all did our best,
Yeah, can't say ass though.
One of I think honestly, my final getting in trouble with IGN moment came when we weren't even working for IGN, and it was that IGN, and I think because we were watching Up at Noon, and this set makes me think of the old studio, right?
Right.
And it was. They had brought us in, me, Tim, and Nick, to do a Taco Bell stream or whatever, and you were on it.
I was on it with you, yeah.
But my favorite thing is that you guys there was a bit you guys greenlit in writing of putting a war room camera out there, or an editorial bullpen camera.
Oh, yeah.
And then, if we do whatever, we'll go out there. Jesus, Barrett's so good at the B-roll.
How did you do that so fast?
He's insane.
Yeah, this is that Taco Bell live stream.
And so it was like...
I'm magic, baby. Also, I remember this day when you guys came in.
And it was, if we hit the wheel, we'll go out there and screw with the editorial thing.
Yes.
And I remember like the second or third time, Nick army crawled out there to Damon's desk, and Damon looked down and goes, "What are you doing?" and Nick's like in the mic, he's like, "Oh, it's for the thing with the camera." And Damon's like, "There's a camera on us." Like no one had told the editorial team there was a camera on them all day long.
I love that we're just like, we have those taco hats, like we so close to getting Dorito poped. I know there's only one Dorito Pope, and he runs all the video games.
Bishop there.
You ever think about that too? I mean, this is a podcast unto itself or whatever. Like, when Doritos Pope was a thing, because
I have no recollection of doing that.
You were there, yeah. Look at that.
Keeley had the nerve to do, hey, this is brought to you by Doritos.
Oh, yeah.
Now what isn't sponsored? You know what I mean? All right, Bear, we don't need to show this.
Wow, finally, I was worried we'd never.
Don't ruin the bits.
I think I get into this at some point because I remember we made a body sandwich with you. You were the meat. At some point, and then Tim and I were bread, I believe.
This is a good way to play Forza Horizon. It's if you don't have a racing wheel, you just get a human man to ride.
What a padded seat I got! Wow,
airbag. Yeah.
You just grab the moves, and then you can drift.
All right, let's drag the show back into Kinda Funny Games Daily Land. I'll of course give you some housekeeping so we can get everybody out here to tell you the news. Of course, we are in the throes of IGN Cross, Kinda Funny, Extra Life. Kat's been on Gamescast. Stella invaded KFW. Ryan and Stella are on the XCast, and of course today. It's Podcast Beyond Cross. P.S. I love you. XOXO. Max, Stella, Blessing, and myself go through a 32-game bracket to decide what the best PlayStation 5 game is.
Jada.
What? Alyssa?
Stella.
I'm afraid of her.
It's fine.
You know what I mean? She threatens me all the time. I'm terrified of her.
She just lifts people everywhere now. Like everywhere you go, she's like, haha, I can lift a whole person. I know. Like, all right. That's scary.
Like lifting Xavier Woods, like, is there like a better just shut up picture to people on the internet?
Yeah,
it's
right.
Like, here's me squatting a professional wrestler. What are there heavier things? Like I feel like a car is less impressive.
This is it. This is as heavy as it gets. Of course, today we're doing the big old stream. Like I said, all the way till 5 p.m. Pacific time. You can donate right now at kindafunny.com/extralife. Thank you to Chris Truckus, who was our first donation, then Hip Hop Anonymous, Lennart DeVries, Lord Hoar, and then Wasted Bandwidth for all your donations. Remember, we are a team, so right there you see we are at $13,436. For every $500 we go up, we are giving away a video game in chat. So that is cumulative, and that is to anybody on Team Kinda Funny. But of course, kindafunny.com/extralife is the easiest way to go. If you want to support Extra Life further and grab a bunch of awesome games along the way, be sure to check out IGN's Editor Choice Bundle over at humblebundle.com right now. It's up until the 22nd. It includes games such as Disco Elysium, The Final Cut, Spiritfarer, Farewell Edition, The Forgotten City, plus you get $10 off almost anything in the IGN store, and you get 3 months of IGN Plus for free. And this is over $204 in value.
It's don't sleep on Chivalry 2, by the way. That is one of the funniest games. Max and I did a whole Let's Play series on that, and it is phenomenal.
It's got a pretty good voice cast too.
Yeah, throw pumpkins at people. It's a good time.
Yeah, there's a lot of ball stuff.
Definitely
people
a lot of ball stuff.
You know?
If you needed one more way to support Extra Life today and save money, guess what? You already know that Kinda Funny is partnered with Square Pie Guys for a special Kinda Funny pizza. It's the Buffalo Chicken Pizza. Of course, it's up through the end of the year. You do it, you buy it. They give us a percentage for our Extra Life team. But today, you can get $5 off the Kinda Funny Buffalo Chicken Pie in San Francisco. This is what I love. The discount will automatically be applied on orders placed on the website or on DoorDash. For dine-in orders, guests can let a team member know Greg sent them, that they're looking to get $5 off. I love it. Try it out. See, that sounds set to fail.
That feels public access.
Right?
As an Italian from New Jersey, if you walk into a pizza place and you say somebody sent you, then someone's getting whacked.
Yeah, right? Yeah. Your final piece of Kinda Funny housekeeping, of course, is that we've seen your comments and are happy to announce that Nerf Alice's iconic shirtless Spider-Man shirt is the premium collector's item over on patreon.com/kindafunny. You can officially finally get this and not buy it off of one of those stupid bot sites that steals designs. I'm sorry for Nick. You know what I mean? Why did he have to put his tongue out? Like, he didn't need that.
He's being Venom.
Is it weird when you wear this shirt and you take off this shirt and then your body's underneath it? Like, is that weird to have a smaller
Well, I just
version?
take his photos. I just take shirtless Spider-Man's photos.
You don't wear that shirt?
I just take his photo. Well, so why would it be weird to see my shirtless body after seeing shirtless Spider-Man?
I don't know. It's like a Inception kind of thing, you know, like a mirror in a mirror, picture in a picture type thing.
I mean, we have similar body types, but we're not like, that
Is it weird
similar.
if you wear that shirt but you're Winnie the Poohing it? Like, because it's got shirtless and then...
I didn't know shirtless Spider-Man has such a big dong. You know?
I think
I was going to say, does he have an enemy that's like pantsless Green Goblin or something?
Yeah, there's some stuff like that floating around. There's a lot of
Does
rules.
it matter what
stuff.
shirt he's wearing if he's Winnie the Pooh?
Thank you to our Patreon producers, Jackson Hampton, and of course, Delaney Twani. Today, we're brought to you by BetterHelp on the Kinda Funny side, but we'll tell you about that later. For now, let's begin the show with what is and forever will be the Roper Report. Time for some news. 8 items on the Roper Report.
A baker's dozen.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to your episode of Kinda Funny Games Daily, Forbes 30 Under 30, a.k.a. the second best baby blues in San Francisco, a.k.a. the verified one at Tim Geddes, and the fighting game expert, Mitchell Saltzman. Woo! We're clearing out for you. Have a good show.
Fighting game
I know.
expert. I don't know about
Enjoy,
that.
boys.
Oh, nice try. You're not stealing my water.
What's up, everybody?
Tim,
Doing
turn
great.
your
How
mic
are
on.
you? We're on.
Nailed
This
it.
is fantastic, everybody. Are we going to hit the intro again for Games Daily? Are we going to do this proper, or are we just going straight into it, Barrett?
Straight into it. We've already run all the intros.
Go. Are we going to get a new background? I can't talk about games
Hey,
news
it's
without
up
a
at
games
noon.
background. You know what I'm talking about? There we go.
There it is.
Now it's good. Now we can talk. Let's talk about story number 1. Spider-Man 2 patches in Daredevil sign. This comes from Katie Raoul at IGN. A fan favorite Easter egg from Insomniac's Spider-Man series is back where it belongs after a recent patch to Spider-Man 2. The real question is, why did it go missing in the first place? Day one players may recall the first game featured a plaque for the law offices of Nelson and Murdoch near Josie's Bar, a landmark in Hell's Kitchen that commonly appears in the Daredevil comics. But after booting up Spider-Man 2, gamers were quick to discover that a plaque with no text was left in its place, which we inferred meant Nelson and Murdoch moved out. Last month, we spoke with Brian Intihar, Senior Creative Director at Insomniac Games, on a Spoilercast episode of Beyond, where the Insomniac executive gave us a coy response when we initially badgered him about the removal of the Easter egg. Quote, "That's a good question. Stay tuned. Good find, though." Now the sign is back like nothing happened. Quote, "Guess they paid their rent," wrote Intihar in response to a tweet from IGN announcing the Easter egg's return. Quote, "This is a villain-level teasing," one fan replied to Intihar on Twitter, and we don't disagree. IGN's gameplay editors previously discovered a strange Easter egg while exploring the Upper West Side district, which they reported might be another sly reference to the Daredevil franchise. A garage door marked with a red symbol in Marvel Spider-Man 2 may seem innocuous to players at first glance, but a look through the windows would reveal a villain hideout filled with weapons, swords, and skulls. Very interesting, Mitchell. Fans are speculating the hidden room could belong to The Hand, an ancient group of ninjas that frequently fight Daredevil. Screen Rant found even more Daredevil references in the first Spider-Man game, such as a Daily Bugle article with Ben Urich's name in the byline. Urich is a recurring character in both Spider-Man and Daredevil, best known for helping Daredevil take down Kingpin and the Green Goblin. Hopefully he's wearing pants. The publications also spotted a Nelson and Murdoch business card that players can collect from one of Peter's backpacks. In addition, Clinton Mission Shelter and Fogwell's Gym are two landmarks players can access in Marvel Spider-Man, which reference niche locations relevant to Daredevil's origin story. All signs point to something brewing at Insomniac Games, and fans think it's going to be either a standalone Daredevil game or DLC based on the popular hero. Mitchell, what do you think?
What's so funny about that kind of rundown of it was that there was a pause in between. That's an interesting question, and I guess you'll have to find out, or I guess we'll have to wait and find out. Like it really was a tease. It really was a tease. But yeah, I there's a part of me that believes that this was like an oversight from Insomniac. Like they just didn't load in the asset onto the plaque, and they just kind of found out about it when other people did.
I mean, the flag situation, right?
Yeah,
like
that too.
We've seen that things have happened that like they did not intend.
Right.
And
I
then
mean,
they
it's
fix it after.
It's a huge, absurdly detailed world. It's not unthinkable that a detail like that would go unnoticed. So yeah, but then there's also that Easter egg that also points to the hand. So it's hard to imagine that they're working on Spider-Man 2 and Wolverine and the secret Daredevil project that we don't know anything about. But man, it would be cool. I would love to see a Insomniac developed Daredevil game.
I mean, that would be incredible. I mean, it's funny because over the last decade at this point, I feel like we've talked about. I mean, as we've seen the MCU kind of rise and take over, and then also seeing Marvel games, start about a decade ago, and just kind of like. A couple misses with things like Avengers, but also a bunch of wins with obviously Spider-Man and Insomniac leading the charge there. But also the Eidos Montreal Guardians game was, in my opinion, very, very good. And a whole bunch of other stuff as well. I feel like anytime we're like, what do we want to see from Marvel games? Daredevil comes up so often. I feel like people aren't necessarily attaching it to Insomniac, but with the level of quality they've been putting out for their games, it's like, oh man, that I can see that can make a lot of sense. Even this week, there was that whole PS2 leak a Daredevil game that like everyone's been talking about, which is really interesting in a very different era of Marvel in general. But I don't think we're gonna get a Daredevil game from Insomniac from this, but I do think, because like these are just Easter eggs. These are just references to superheroes that are in New York in the Marvel world, and Insomniac in Spider-Man 1, Miles Morales, and Spider-Man 2 just packs the game with those type of things, no matter where you go.
As someone who recently made a video compiling all the ones that we found in Spider-Man 2, I can definitely understand.
There's a lot. Now, having said that, though, when you look at the pattern of what Insomniac has done recently with Spider-Man, we went from Spider-Man 2018 to the City That Never Sleeps DLC, which focused way more on Black Cat and some of the other characters than I expected them to, where they kind of went into that. So I wouldn't be surprised if we did get, without spoilers of where Spider-Man 2 goes, just there are moments in the game that I'm like, oh wow, they're going further into this than I expected them to. I wouldn't be surprised if there is a City That Never Sleeps style DLC for Spider-Man 2, if it is Daredevil focused, where replace Black Cat's prominence in the first one with Daredevil in this.
And I think what's really cool is that, you know, if you go through a lot of those side quests in Spider-Man 2, there are teases to what's coming next, and whether that's, you know, what's going to happen in Spider-Man 3, or that's a tease of what's coming next in a Spider-Man DLC down the road. You know, I definitely think you can fit Daredevil into any of those, you know, different slots.
Yeah.
So, you know, it's exciting. I think that there's definitely some reason to believe that Daredevil could be involved in Insomniac's vision of Spider-Man. But I guess we'll just have to wait and see even more.
What I think is interesting, too, is Brian Intihar, when he was on our spoiler cast for Spider-Man 2, he confirmed that Wolverine is also set in the same Insomniac universe, which I think was 1038 is what they said.
48.
1048. So 1048 being this official universe now that's, I mean, we've seen now in Spider-Verse, right? In the movie, we're seeing the Insomniac world crossover. So like them kind of defining this and, you know, giving the advanced suit to Peter, really having that white spider be like, this is Insomniac. I see them wanting to build that out and wanting to have more iconic takes on characters. They do such a great job with it, but knowing we're getting Wolverine, knowing it's in the same universe, Wolverine, I imagine, is going to be an M-rated game, if they haven't already confirmed that. You look at Daredevil, I know that we typically associate Daredevil with more mature storylines, whether that's from the comics or the Netflix show. So it could be interesting to see them maybe set a Daredevil up in Spider-Man that... Because, again, going back to comics and stuff, Daredevil and Spider-Man, they're crossing over all the time. Oh, yeah. So it makes so much sense.
They share a lot of the same villains also.
Exactly. So I feel like there's a natural entryway for Daredevil to be in the Insomniac Spider-Man universe in New York, where it doesn't need to be, like, extremely brutal and violent and all of that, but it doesn't take away from the character of Daredevil, because they've done this a million times. But then, potentially, I don't expect to see Daredevil in Wolverine, but if we did... I think that we could see it that other side, or like if eventually we got a Daredevil game, like that could be cool, man. If they kind of use the DLC to like introduce up potential characters for like brand new games.
I think one other thing to note is that in addition to Daredevil, there's a Fantastic Four Easter egg in Spider-Man 2 as well, where you can see the Fantastic Four logo being like freshly painted over the Baxter building. And one of the things that we figured out was in the first game, that building was one of Fisk's buildings. Mm-hmm. So the Four basically took it over, repurposed it. So that's another thing that I think we can look forward to maybe in this whole Insomniac verse of Marvel Studios.
I mean, which is super exciting, right? I mean, on top of that, like there's a ton of the Avengers Tower's there, right? And it's like, it's funny and it's easy to joke about at this point, but it is there. So I feel like they're setting things up, and we'll see where everything ends up going in the future. But I do expect that this Daredevil stuff isn't just a coincidence. Like, I feel like at the end of the day, what's happening right now with the sign and all that might just be happenstance, but I think that they're cooking something. I think that we will see Daredevil in the Insomniac games sooner than later. Like, I think in the next, before Wolverine comes out, I think we will see Daredevil in something.
It's a bold prediction.
Yeah, it is. But I stand by it, everybody. I'm a bold guy. You have any final thoughts on this?
Just, I think, when you look at Daredevil, when you look at the Fantastic Four, there are games for those comic book series, but they all came from like an era of like, cheap cash-ins, and they never really got a chance to shine. So I think it's real exciting to see what Insomniac-led Daredevil game or a Fantastic Four game would look like from them. I think there's a lot of real interesting gameplay possibilities to explore with their unique powers and stuff.
Yeah.
Excuse me.
Exciting times for everyone. Well, Mitchell, thank you so much for joining me for this. I'm sure you'll be back throughout the day.
Oh, I'll be back.
As we hang out doing a whole bunch of fun stuff. But I'm going to welcome to the stage now, Kat Bailey. For story number 2, Bungie talks about this week. This comes from Taylor Lyles at IGN. Kat, hello again.
Hello.
How are you doing?
I'm doing all right.
This is the most I've hung out with you, the most I've talked to you in a short amount of time, and it feels really good. We did
Huge
Gamescast.
admirer. I'm so excited.
This is great. We did Gamescast together. We did NVC together yesterday. That was a blast. Is that live yet?
It should be live now over on IGN Games.
Everyone can go check that out. YouTube.com/IGN Games, right? Yeah, it was a blast. It was a lot of fun. We talked about Mario. Surprise, surprise. But today we're talking about Bungie. And this week, everything going on. Let me read the article here. Following layoffs a few days ago, Bungie has published a statement about the difficult week the studio has had as the developer alludes to some of its plans moving forward. Quote, "This has been one of the most difficult weeks in our studio's history as we've parted ways with people we respect and admire." The blog post begins addressing the layoffs that affected roughly 100 employees. "We spent this week supporting one another, including those who are at the studio, as well as friends and colleagues who are no longer there. The team also acknowledged that it has lost a lot of its fans' trust, noting that it recognizes the concerns and feedback players have shared regarding Destiny 2 and the mixed reception to the Lightfall expansion. We know we have lost a lot of your trust," Bungie wrote. "Destiny needs to surprise and delight. We haven't done this enough, and that's going to change." The blog post comes following an IGN report earlier this week where employees told us that Destiny 2 player sentiment was at an all-time low, with employees flagging multiple times to leadership that critical changes were to be made to win players back. Bungie CEO Pete Parsons told employees that the layoffs were due to Destiny 2's underperformance over the last year, as well as the lower than expected pre-orders for the Final Shape expansion. In an internal town hall meeting, IGN learned that Parsons told remaining employees that it had kept, quote, "the right people" to continue developing post-launch content for Destiny 2. IGN also previously confirmed that the Final Shape has been delayed to June 2024, while Marathon's been internally delayed to 2025. Today's blog post does not acknowledge either. The Final Shape was previously set for February 27th, 2024. The blog post, meanwhile, notes that Bungie's path forward is clear, pledging to make the Final Shape expansion an unforgettable experience. The Final Shape was revealed this past August and will be the final expansion in Destiny 2's Light and Darkness saga. Quote, "We're intensely focused on exceeding your expectations for the Final Shape. Destiny 2 has more than 650 dedicated teammates pouring all their energy and expertise into delivering this epic moment and its subsequent episodes." What you think, Kat?
Tough week for Bungie, hasn't it been?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. It really speaks to Bungie being a little bit of a studio adrift, which is really shocking given how much Sony ended up paying for Bungie when they brought them aboard. And arguably, they overvalued them by a few $1 billion, which is not a small amount of money. And now it's been how many years since Destiny 2 came out? At least, right? I think 6 years at least.
Yeah, it was 20.
I want to say 17 or 18. Yeah, so at least 5, maybe 6 years. And I think one of the problems Destiny 2 maybe faces is that it's had a hard time maybe bringing in people because it has a reputation for being, I think, quite dense at this point.
Yeah.
So accessibility is a little bit of an issue, and then the game itself has gotten a little bit stale for the core fans. I think they've been able to bring them in with various expansions, but there's been controversies and kind of scandals and the usual stuff that you would associate with games as a service, and then you just don't have a clear sense of what's next for Bungie. So Marathon ends up being delayed, and Marathon didn't get a really good reception when it was first revealed, and now they've let go of a lot of longtime employees as well as part of these layoffs. And so at this point, the messaging's been really bad externally and internally. And you just have to ask, where are we going here?
Yeah, it's really interesting, and it's rough when we, are again talking about these layoff stories day after day after day this year.
It's been a tough year. It's been a horrible year.
It's been
in that
rough.
Way. Yeah.
And this kind of stems back to the acquisitions that have been happening over the last 5 years at this point, if not more, and this being one of the bigger ones that Sony has done, and we're still seeing the kind of shakeouts and the ramifications of what that means to bring on these giant teams, especially a team like Bungie that has kind of been really defining alongside Fortnite and very few others what a games as a service, live service game done right, quote unquote, can look like, which of course doesn't mean they're going to get everything right all the time, but we use Destiny as the shining star example of, it can work. But then you see there's the reality of the players that are enjoying Destiny. There's the players that are playing Destiny but not enjoying Destiny, which is like how any game's going to go, which I'm sure there's a fair amount of those. But then you look at PlayStation's strategy overall that they've been pushing of this live service, games of service initiative that we're all kind of looking at like, I don't know about this. This doesn't sound like what we are asking for, or what we, more than that, it's less about asking for. We don't have faith it's going to work. And for them to then come out and announce Marathon the way that they did, alongside a bunch of other games that, like, I played Marathon back in the day, the original Marathon. Like, I'm a Bungie fan. Like, I love Halo. And there's, like, negative excitement about Marathon coming back, I
mean, Marathon is one of the best story-driven shooters of all time, one of the most haunting and atmospheric shooters of all time. And the people who love Marathon. My housemate, shout out to Ryan if he's watching this, his avatar is the Marathon logo, and he was crushed by the news that it was going to be a games of service. It's
a bummer.
It's a poison chalice, right? So in a way, you feel like Bungie is losing a little bit of its soul. And then you look over at PlayStation, and you have to think, okay, so they're going through a transitional period in terms of the actual live service, right? And you think, okay, why did they acquire Bungie? Theoretically, I guess to support their games as services initiative. Maybe that made sense to them. But what will the new leadership want to do at Sony? Where are they going forward with this? And I do want to say, like, Destiny is one of the most important games to come out in the past 10 years. It is the game that made live service games on console alongside like Warframe, right? So you can't understate its influence in that respect. But I detect a little bit of drift both from Sony and from Bungie.
It is interesting though, because you bring up the point of them acquiring Bungie clearly to start building out the strategy, and I do think that is a great move. Like, that's what we want to see. We were just talking about Marvel Games a second ago in the last story. And I really appreciate that, unlike so many other publishers out there, they decided that they were going to partner with the right teams, the right studios for different projects. And again, they didn't get it right every single time. But I feel like taking unique paths to game development is the right move, and every single thing needs to be looked at differently. And something I really appreciated about PlayStation Studios in the last couple of years has been the amount of collaboration between them. And you kind of get this sense of like, Death Stranding would not have been able to come out as quickly as it did. And I don't think we talk about this enough. Death Stranding is a game that exists. Like that weird Kojima thing that was announced that we're all like, is this a game? Is this ever going to actually happen? It did. And it actually came out in a time frame that I would imagine it would surprise most people when you look at announcement to release. And a lot of that had to do with them working with Guerrilla and being able to use engines and understand being able to benefit from the talents of the other teams. And I feel like that is how PlayStation has been looking at Bungie to hopefully be able to learn how to get this right. And again, it's a tall order, and I have no faith in it, but I do think this is the right step. If you're going to do it, get the best in the biz doing it. And sometimes the best in the biz are going to struggle. And clearly they're struggling here when it comes to a lot of this news and all this layoff. The conversation here, I think, is obviously the real headline of it all. But the other thing is, it wasn't PlayStation. It wasn't Sony that laid these people off. It was Bungie.
Yeah. No, you're not wrong. And it's I will say, as someone who loves older games, it really hurts to see these legacy studios being impacted like this. There are people who have been in this industry a really long time, literally decades, who are being kind of thrown aside, and you're losing their expertise. And these people aren't being snapped up necessarily by other studios. A lot of them are leaving the industry entirely because they say to themselves, why am I bothering with this? What? I put so much of my heart and soul. I worked so hard. I didn't get paid as much as I would have if I had worked for Apple and Google. What's even the point? I'm going to go get my money now. See you later, video games. And that can only hurt the industry, is when people are being treated as disposable like this. So seeing this happened to BioWare was just brutal earlier this year.
Oh, yeah, totally.
And now Bungie, it's tough. It's really tough. And it also really kind of stings to see QA workers being treated like this too. Like a huge swath of QA workers being laid off over at Bungie. Go check out Reb Valentine's excellent reporting over on IGN about this.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, we're going to transfer over to story number 3, where we're going to have Andy Cortez joining us here alongside Stella. Stella, welcome to the stage. It's time to talk. Me and Kat are going to leave.
Hey gamers, are y'all donating? What are y'all doing with your lives? Hey Stella.
Better be donating.
Y'all better
Hi.
be donating. Story number 3. Nintendo Switch eShop leaks Overwatch 2's next hero.
My hair's sticking up.
Mauga. Ahead of BlizzCon, writes Wesley Yinpol at IGN.
Yay,
The Nintendo
Wesley.
Switch eShop news channel has gone live early with a reveal of Overwatch 2's next hero just hours before the start of BlizzCon. Polygon and Redditors reported the eShop spilled the beans on Mauga, Overwatch 2's next tank hero, who joins a roster of playable characters alongside Season 8 on December 5th, following a sneak peek trial this weekend. Blizzard is expected to officially announce Mauga during BlizzCon, which kicks off today. Check out IGN's guide on how to watch BlizzCon 2023 for more. Mauga uses volatile chain guns that can be fired either individually or in unison. One of the chain guns is called Gunny, and the other is called Cha-Cha. Mauga's Berserker passive ability grants him temporary health whenever he deals critical damage.
Really quick, it's Mauga.
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 Soundbike Mike offset says, I like Mauga, so
no.
we're going to go with that.
No, we're going to
it's
respect
Mauga.
different cultures and how
Mauga.
they pronounce it, their own names. I don't care what Mike says.
Mauga.
Yeah, Mike is irrelevant.
I read it like, I gave it like the Mexican sort of flair, Mauga. So this is interesting because a new tank hero, will this bring people back into the fold? Will this bring me back to Overwatch? Who knows?
Will it bring you back?
I doubt it.
Dude, it's, yeah.
But I blame all the single player games. I blame all of the games that I think that I need to beat for Game of the Year type stuff.
Okay.
Are you
No,
not
that's
playing
fair.
Overwatch?
No,
'Cause when Overwatch 2 came out, you and I partied up quite a bit. You, me, Blessing, a couple of other people that we had in our party, gaming it up in Overwatch 2. But, I mean, Overwatch will always be sort of a constant in my life. It hasn't been this year because of all of the releases.
Yeah, no, I feel that even with like Apex, which is my game of choice for like, coming back live service game.
Bless your heart.
I know, dude.
How do you deal with that?
I don't.
So hard.
But now it's like, it's one of those things of, I think a lot of people are experiencing live service game burnout because, again, like all these games are coming out, Baldur's Gate, Starfield, Legend of Zelda, all of these things are coming out and everyone's like, what do I have time in my life for? And it's like, you know what? I don't have to worry about like gathering a party. I don't have to worry about stressing in a party of randoms playing this competitive game. So I think a lot of people are kind of tired of live service games, and I do feel that. But also, Overwatch has not done a good job of showing its love to the community, and this is something that I will stand by and die on this hill with, because they have constantly showed just how greedy Blizzard is with the amount of cosmetics and the amount of them walking back on promises that they gave the community, right? Like the PvE thing. Sure, we have PvE missions now, but it's cut down from half the thing that it was supposed to be. And it was locked behind a paywall, which was supposed to just come with the game in the beginning. And then also now with this K-pop collaboration, the skins are like, what, $65? That is a whole game. For a game that is free. And yes, granted, you don't need to buy it. You don't need to buy any of the cosmetics, but the pricing really does show the community a very heavy statement about how they don't care. They don't care and they don't respect the players. And it's just very, I don't know, it's disrespectful, you know?
I feel that. I did fall into quite the microtransactions hole with Valorant. And whenever I would see players complain about the pricing of Overwatch things, I'd be like, oh man, if only y'all knew what I was spending on Valorant stuff over there, where I'm buying a pistol for, $45 or whatever.
Yeah.
I will eventually get back to Overwatch. I don't disagree with you that maybe their sort of direction and where they're kind of headed with Overwatch 2, it does seem like a lot of the community doesn't necessarily get listened to a whole lot, and compared to other multiplayer games where it seems like, the people up top are constantly putting out polls or talking to the community or talking on forums or whatever, it does seem like there's a decent amount of the Overwatch 2 fan base that feels kind of, just left alone, and they're not really being communicated with. I'm excited for eventually the day that I get back to Overwatch 2, because I know I will. I always do. Try as hard as I might, Stella, I will eventually get back to it.
Me too. I like the base game, right? Like it's fun.
It's a great multiplayer game.
Yeah.
When was the last time you played it?
I played it when the last hero came out. Ilari.
Oh, Ilari.
No, Ilari.
Okay.
She's so fun, but she was also broken. Oh my god, she was so broken when she came out, but she was very fun.
Tree hero, the tree.
No. Ilari. No. She has that gun that's like massive, looks like a slab of concrete. Like it's literally like a sidewalk, the size of a sidewalk. And she has powers off of the sun. She's a healer.
I've been out of the game.
Oh my god, dude.
I'm really embarrassed now because I just don't even remember who that hero is. But again,
what? Okay.
A lot of it is just like the amount of content that, whenever you're talking about a games as a service game that you're kind of expected to go back to, and you're expected to kind of this be your second job. You're going to be grinding it. You're going to be doing the battle pass, all that stuff.
Yeah.
Sometimes I'll find myself in a groove with certain multiplayer games like that, but I haven't really felt that way since all of these single player games started coming out, and really they've been kind of taking my time, unfortunately. Because first off, Alan Wake 2, too scary. Why am I playing it?
I know, right? Yes.
I could be playing Overwatch, but instead I'm just like, awful things are happening to me in Alan Wake 2, and I'm just having a bad time overall. But it's a very, very good game, Remedy. Very, very good game. But just stop what y'all are doing. All right, let me get PC modders. Let me tone down the jump scares. All right. Enough with the images, enough with the scary things popping up on screen with the loud noises. And also, Epic, let me turn off your notifications, all right? I just got a lot, we're not even talking about Overwatch anymore. I kind of forgot what was happening.
I'll bring it back. Like, here's the thing. I do see a lot of chat people saying, oh, well, like Apex and, Call of Duty, Valorant. Yeah, of course, all of these all have microtransactions, right? And I'm not saying that their pricing's great either. I'm not saying that, hey, Blizzard is like the ultimate, oh, don't do this. They all have their own problems, but I think it's the fact that Blizzard just has not been communicating with their community properly, and the fact that Blizzard has just been kind of letting their players fall to the wayside. And there have been a lot of broken promises. Like, there's a lot here that goes into why players feel so betrayed, why players don't feel respected. And there has to be a give and take with both community and developers, because without your players, you don't have a game, especially for a live service game. So that's what my point is. It's just, I think a lot of people's sticking point was the PvE thing, because they were like, wait, this was the whole reason for Overwatch 2.
And this thing that you abandoned is a big reason why Overwatch 1 was largely abandoned near its life cycle.
Yeah.
Where there was a lot of community outcry saying, we need this fixed, we want this person nerfed, why is this, why is the game feel broken in a lot of moments? And, well, we're working on Overwatch 2, a lot of those things will be addressed, and this PvE thing is happening, and then that kind of came and went and was largely canceled. So, I hope they get it together. I hope Overwatch is always this place that I kind of just return to. It's kind of just my comfort food.
Yeah, of course. No, I'm not shitting on people who like the game, right? It's a good game.
It sounds like you are. No, I'm kidding. Okay.
I will kill you. No, I'm just saying it's just one of those things of like, it just feels greedy, and it's very apparent what their whole point with Overwatch 2 is. It's a cash grab. That's what it is. I like the game. I still love playing ranked, even though, oh my god, some people, I cannot play it with randoms because I swear to God, they don't know what they're doing. It's awful.
A lot of times you just kind of sure you could pick the meta, but what if you pick the hottest character? That's
Ooh.
my meta. You know what I mean?
Ooh.
It's like, sure, I could be the person that needs to be played right now because they are ridiculously strong and have not received a nerf in a while. But what if I just pick? What if I just pick Ashe? You know?
Oh, you think Ashe is the hottest character on that roster?
Well,
out of everyone?
she's my DPS baddie. Yeah.
DPS baddie. Okay.
Yeah. Sombra also.
Yes, I'm a Sombra main.
Sigma's feet.
We're done here.
Thank you, everybody.
We're
We appreciate you all watching and listening to Kinda Funny Games Daily. And you can also check out our stuff on Patreon. Patreon.com/KindaFunny. Patreon.com/KindaFunnyGames, where you get a bunch of exclusive content. And people who also subscribe at a certain level don't have to watch ads, but you all will have to watch ads. So here's a word from our sponsors.
This episode is brought to you by BetterHelp. Do you ever feel like your brain is getting in its own way? I can't even count the amount of nights I lose sleep just because I can't stop thinking and my brain just won't stop talking. It turns out one great way to make those racing thoughts go away is to talk through them. Therapy gives you a great place to do that so you can get out of your negative thought cycles and find some mental and emotional peace. And it can give you the tools to find more balance in your life so you can keep supporting others without leaving yourself behind. Some of my best friends use BetterHelp and love how helpful it can be for learning positive coping skills and how to set boundaries. It empowers you to be the best version of yourself, and it isn't just for those who've experienced major trauma. If you're thinking of starting therapy, give BetterHelp a try. It's entirely online, designed to be convenient, flexible, and suited to your schedule. Just fill out a brief questionnaire to get matched with a licensed therapist and switch therapist anytime for no additional charge. You can make your brain your friend with BetterHelp. Visit betterhelp.com/kindafunny today to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/kindafunny. BetterHelp.com/kindafunny.
And welcome back, everyone. It's your guy, Mike and Brian, here
What's up?
at the desk. I guess the couch today, big dog.
That's right.
And we're talking gaming news.
We are talking
We're
gaming
talking
news.
you and I. But most importantly, I just want to check in with you, man.
It's good
been
to
a
check in with you too. Check in with the audience as well. Hit up kindafunny.com/extra life. You see it right there. We are raising money all day long. IGN and Kinda Funny are joining forces to do probably one of the biggest, coolest things we've ever done together.
Pretty special to do that together.
Yeah, and look at that. We're already up to 13,000. We're going to try to hit 100,000 today. We're going to keep pushing. So keep donating. Get your friends. Kick in. Look at that. Just went up and even more. Mike, let's talk news.
Let's talk news. But before that, let's also remind them, hey, there's also a sweet Humble Bundle going on right now with
That's
IGN.
right.
And I have that set up in the Nightbot. If you type in !Extra Life 2 anytime throughout today's stream, you can check out that sweet IGN Humble Bundle. If you purchased it at any dollar amount that you like, that's going to go to some great causes.
That's right. And some really, really good games in there too. So that's like hundreds of hours of video games right there.
What's your favorite game on that list?
Honestly, Chivalry 2.
Oh, you read my mind.
Yeah,
I'm a
it's just,
Chivalry dude. I
like,
love that.
So a lot of those other games are like, they have like Disco Elysium, amazing story. Spiritfarer, like I think it's like one of the most incredible emotional games I've ever played. This Chivalry is just dumb as hell, and sometimes I just
ain't nothing better than that.
I just need dumb as hell after a long day.
I love
sometimes.
screaming down the battlefield, chopping off some limbs,
That's
yelling
right.
with my friends. It's a good time.
That's right.
Let's jump into the news because story number 4 has Xbox employees are losing their free Xbox Game Pass Ultimate. This comes from Tom Warren at The Verge. Brian, let's talk about it. Microsoft is removing the free Xbox Game Pass Ultimate benefit for most of its 238,000 employees, and some aren't happy about it. Sources familiar with Microsoft's plans tell The Verge that the company started informing employees this week that in January 2024, the free Xbox Game Pass Ultimate benefit for permanent Microsoft employees will no longer be available. I understand that. Xbox employees will continue to keep the benefit, but the vast majority of Microsoft employees who aren't part of Xbox/Microsoft Gaming will see the benefit disappear next year. Microsoft employees will be able to purchase a discounted 12-month Xbox Game Pass Ultimate subscription at the company's internal store. Some Microsoft employees have taken to the company's internal messaging platforms to voice their objections about the benefit being removed. The employees' post even prompted Xbox chief Phil Spencer to respond, noting that he wasn't aware of the changes and is looking into the situation. Brian, what's up with that?
Okay, so this is going to be controversial.
Okay, let's talk about it.
I think that jobs should have cool perks.
Love that.
And I think that that's like if if you work at a place, you should get a discount on the place you work at, or
like that.
You know, you work at a restaurant, you should get a little food every now and then.
Mm-hmm.
You work at Xbox, this is one of those things that I think to just be included. And I think that like nickel and diming your employees because you want to get your subscription numbers up is a bad look. I think that spending $70 billion on a company acquisition and then turning around and being like,
what?
and then shaking down the couch cushions is a bad look. And so I saw a lot of people on social media being like, well, you know, I don't, you know, the coffee machine at my job broke, so then people shouldn't get free stuff at their jobs. You know what that is?
Yeah.
That's crab bucket mentality.
Oh.
You know what crab bucket mentality is?
What is that, Brian?
Crab bucket mentality is when there's a bunch of crabs and they're trying to get out of the bucket, and instead of letting the crab at the top get out, the other crabs at the bottom grab that crab and they pull them down with the paws, and they're like, I'm stuck down here. You have to be stuck down here too.
Yeah.
Your job should have perks. Their job should have perks. Every job should have perks. Like all of those things should have like the cool stuff that comes with it, you know? Like at IGN, we get a few games for free every now and then. I use them for content. I talk about them on shows. We do reviews and previews and features, op-eds, all that fun stuff. If you took that away from us forever, we would still buy the games. We would still do our work. We would still do our coverage and stuff like that. But it would sting a little bit, right? It's just like one of those little things, right? You guys are, you partnered with Square Pie Guys, right?
Heck yeah.
Great pizza place here in San Francisco.
Love
They
pizza.
bring pizza by.
Yep.
You guys eat it all up.
Bang.
You know, part of the deal, you promote them and stuff like that. They love having you on. What if that went away?
I'd miss that pizza.
You'd miss that pizza,
I'd
right?
miss that pizza.
That's exactly it. Now, what if Square Pie Guys just bought $70 billion in pizza dough
Yeah,
and ingredients just a couple weeks ago, right? And then they came to you, Snowbike Mike, and they're like, we're going to shake you down for a few pennies.
They're like, actually, Mike, no more free pizza. You got to buy it. But we'll give you a
Exactly.
discounted rate on that.
Exactly. And so I think that, like I just saw in the chat, all the crabs should be out of the bucket. Xbox employees should get Game Pass for free. It's not a real thing. It's not like it's just a digital switch.
Isn't that so weird, Brian? You said it so well, and that's the weird one to me of like, we're talking about this product that is just kind of out there and existing.
It's infinite.
How many? What's the percentage of actual 238,000 employees actually using that?
Exactly.
Not that many, I'm sure. And then on top of that, what is it costing this company?
I bet you
$0.
if you sent the email to all those people, most of them would just ignore it.
Yeah.
And the ones that did would appreciate it. Also, like the pizza thing, and I just said it, bad metaphor, because that's a food that goes bad. It's
Yeah,
a
of course,
finite
of course.
resource. This is a digital switch.
Yeah.
You just go click, and you have Game Pass Ultimate.
I'm right there with you. I think that's the cool part about a lot of these jobs and companies around the globe is you get these special perks that you want to go and participate in, right?
Yeah.
I worked at Vail Resorts because I was interested in getting a free ski pass to go be able to ski. That was the perk of the job of, hey, we're only going to pay you minimum wage, but guess what? We hope to offset that kind of plunge in the heart with a free ski pass. And
Exactly.
you go, okay, I'm going to weigh my options here, right? And if I worked at Microsoft, a $1 trillion company, I would hope that I would get some of the Microsoft product line to help support some of the things that I want to do with them.
Exactly. I worked at cash register at a supermarket in high school. You know what I used to do? I used to eat the candy bars.
Oh, good. Brian, can I be real with you once?
Yeah.
So my first ever job out of high school was at this gas station on the outskirts of town.
Okay.
Right. Lady handed me the keys. She didn't care what I did. She just said, good luck. Try not to let people steal gas. And every day, Brian, I would grab a Milky Way. I'd bite half of it. I'd stop. I'd go grab some lemon heads. I had half a box. I'd stop. And every single day, I made sure I was going to get some candy. You know what I mean? Because I wanted that.
See, now I need to make it abundantly clear that what we're describing right now is actually called stealing. This is called theft.
But I was eating. I was eating well.
Yeah, this is very, very different. So when Mike and I used to steal candy bars, not what you should be doing. That has nothing to do with anything we're talking about right here. But it just feels like a good place to admit.
Well,
but stealing is one thing.
Let's
today's all about giving. So go to kindafunny.com/extralife. Check out that IGN Humble Bundle. Get as many games as you can. Stock up. Look, that number is going to keep going up all day. We need your help. IGN Kinda Funny joining forces for the charity event of the year.
And give those people some Xbox Game Pass.
Yeah. Exactly.
See you soon, Brian. I'll see you. I get to hang out with you in a little bit. I'm going to hang out with Stella now to talk some more Xbox news.
See you soon.
Bye, Brian. Chat, how we doing? It's nice to see you all. Of course, nice to hang out with Brian. Nice to be next to this lovely lady.
I gotta match you.
Miss
Okay, there
Stella.
we go. Here we
Stella,
go.
how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm wonderful, Stella. It's nice to see you. I will tell you.
Dude, my hair is still doing the thing. What the fuck?
No, the hair looks great, Stella. Hair looks great. Here's a fun one. You were just talking about a brand new character coming to Overwatch 2, and then you guys started talking about microtransactions. Let's talk about microtransactions right now in 343. Story number 5. 343 explains Halo Infinite price hike. This coming from Wesley Yinpool at IGN. Halo Infinite developer 343 Industries has moved to explain a recent microtransactions price hike following a community backlash. Shop prices were raised after 343 added multi-core functionality to customization content. While the multi-core functionality was welcomed by players despite the price hike, 343 also raised the price of older content with the release of last month's otherwise well-received Season 5. Halo fan XLR8 said, quote, Halo Infinite shop prices for Season 5 have been very disappointing, and even more so that they went back and increased old bundles. I've spent very little this season in comparison to Season 1 through 4. Even as a frequent spender, lots of stuff simply isn't worth the price, end quote. Addressing the backlash and XLR8 directly, 343 Community Director Brian Sketch Gerard moved to explain what happened by saying the developers attempting to maintain a level of consistency across items in the store and for those items that will be multi-core enabled in the future. Here's the statement in full. Shop prices on many offers have changed in conjunction with multi-core functionality being added to customization content. With Season 4, we saw new shop offers reflect a new pricing model to account for new coatings being multi-core enabled. With Season 5, many previously released coatings and all helmets in the game were updated to work on all cores, and those shop offers were adjusted to reflect these changes and to have parity with Season 4 offers. At the same time, the team went ahead and made proactive adjustments to offers that included shoulders, since they will be multi-core enabled in the future update. It was a trade-off to try and front-load some of the work now versus just having a constant churn of shop pricing changes along the way. While many Season 1 through 4 offers have been adjusted, I want to be transparent that as more multi-core coatings come to bear, there are going to be more past offers that weren't included in the initial Season 5 adjustments that will see updates in the future. As a reminder, everyone who already owns these helmets, coatings, and shoulders will automatically receive multi-core functionality on eligible items as the changes go live in game.
This should have been implemented from the start. Listen,
Stella, don't get me started on multi-core functionality.
Oh, let's
Don't
go.
get me started on Season 1 of Halo and how that went far too long. Let's talk about it, Stella.
Yeah, let's
talk
about
it.
Let's talk about it. Yeah.
Microtransactions being raised because of multi-core functionality is an insane excuse that anyone cannot use. That's an insane excuse.
I know, and here's the thing. They just fixed the Battle Pass, right? Like, they just fixed it so that all of these coatings could be used on every armor piece, so you don't have to get each single one, right? To match each one. They finally fixed that. They finally fixed 100 rewards in the Battle Pass that no one cared about to make it to 50.
Well, they condensed it because half of them were left shoulder, right shoulder still at 33 and 34. So them to be like, oh, we condensed it to 50. It's like, no, you just made what was an obtuse, outrageous idea in Season 1 through 4 of like, hey, left knee pad and right knee pad, that's 99 and 98. No, they just finally figured it out of like, oh, shoulder pads are the same. Just put them in there.
Yeah, when you go to the store and you want to buy knee pads for, when you go to soccer, do you buy one at a time? I don't think so, dude. It's so stupid. And they just fixed that. And I was like, oh, man, the Battle Pass is actually quality over quantity. And then seeing this, I'm like, what are you doing, babes? No, bring it back. You had it. You had the right idea. You had it. Yeah. And they're already losing it. And it makes me so upset because Season 5 is really good. And
yes, it is.
Here's the thing. If you want this to change, the players have to stop buying items, right? You have to stop buying them, but people aren't going to, which is why the prices keep increasing. Blizzard, Overwatch 2, there are still people who buy that $65 bundle.
It's a weird move. Like you said, they've gotten a lot of good praise for Season 5, and we've given it down that on Unlocked and on the XCast. I know that. But I will say this. For a storefront that finally has something unique and cool looking with the Flood cosmetics, it is odd that this team continues to drop the ball in some areas that, sure, this is a small problem, right? It'd be one thing if the game didn't work, if the maps weren't that good, if the product wasn't good. But when we talk about microtransactions, it's so small, but it's just a small rake that you continue to step on. And people say, man, do you really got it over there, 343?
I again, and you were here for my whole spiel on Overwatch, right?
Yep.
So it's the same thing, right? Like Halo Infinite launched and people were like, oh, this is good, but it could be better. And then they realized all the problems that started coming out because 343 was not, they weren't well versed in a live service game, right? Something like this. And it took them a while to figure out the model, and they're still clearly figuring it out. But the fact that, Forge took forever to come out and there's still no couch co-op, there's a lot of things that have been missed with the community. And again, it is that miscommunication that constantly makes people upset. And this, with the price hike now, people are like, wait, I thought we were on the same page now. I guess not.
It is an odd one, Stella, of a game that was promoted as Halo the platform.
Yes.
And we have this long roadmap that we want to get, and they continue to not be on that road. They just don't know where they need to be. And they're learning and growing at the same time. But you would have hoped Halo, the flagship title, we would have had a better grasp on this one and been prepared for this.
Yeah.
And on top of that, right, let's get away from these bundles, right? Let's do what Fortnite has done. Let's do what all these other companies have done where, yeah, we can sell bundles, but why are we not selling single items? It is crazy that I have to go buy a $25 bundle for one or two things that I want out of that bundle.
Yeah.
Stop selling me the stuff that I don't need. Let's get into this. Let me give you $2, $5. It is an interesting move, and I love microtransactions. I would love to talk microtransactions with companies. I would love to see the dollar amounts, the units that we're all aiming for, because it is a fun game of, here's the unit price. This is how many units we want to sell. Well, if I lower that unit price now, I need to double the amount of units I want to sell, right? And so Halo 343, any live service game is continuing to battle with this thing. And unfortunate for Halo when they come down to Season 5 on a good note to have this happen.
It's so funny. Chad is calling you out saying,
They
Mike
know
loves to
I love
swipe
buying
that card.
stuff. I mean,
he loves to swipe that card.
Updating the coolest part about Halo is you are the Spartan. I am Master Chief. I get to make my own Spartan 117. I love having different colors.
Master Mike.
I'm wearing my cute cat ears. I got my holiday
cat ears
colors
too?
on. Oh, yeah. And I'm all about it. But yeah, it comes down to when I'm trying to sell to the community, if I was in that room, what is the correct price? Where do people want to be? And I noticed that people will swipe the card for $5 to $10, a lot more than $15 to $20 and beyond, right? And Halo has never gotten down lower past that number. They like to sell $25 bundles and just doesn't make sense for what they're offering.
Yeah. Also, I see a lot of people in the chat saying, well, but it's free. It's free. It doesn't matter. It's the message. I keep saying this, man. It's the messaging between the developers and the community. If there's a disconnect, people aren't going to feel connected to your game. They're not going to want to support this game because, yes, it's a free game. And I get it. You can just go and you don't have to buy anything. But the thing is, like, you still, if you want to support the developers that you play this game for, right? You want there to be some sort of value to what you are contributing. And that it just doesn't feel like there is. And especially with the amount of pricing changes that they've had and the cosmetics that they had before, it's just like, do you care about the community? Do you care?
They don't have it yet, Stella. They don't have it. And the multi-core functionality excuse is insane. I mean, for a team that has done this in the past, that knows what this should be when it comes down to Spartan customization, the idea of cores and locking that to, only these color decals will go on this core, or this helmet goes on this core, right off the rip, you knew that was lost.
Yeah.
You knew that this team needed to figure that out. And so I'm glad that they figured it out, but it is odd that they're like, we're going to increase the pricing for older content because now it goes on every core. Sir, I can only wear one core at a time. Okay? Let's be real. Just give me one core and I'll put on whatever I want. Stella, I love talking with you. I love getting to hang out with our audience. I love talking video game news.
Yeah.
But we're done. So let's bring on
we are? Okay.
Kat Bailey and Andy Cortez to talk about story number 6.
Why was Greg yelling at me from the corner here? Chat, I don't think you heard this, but Greg was yelling at me in the corner, and I don't know why.
First off, I yelled Beyond, because as everyone knows on IGN.com, if somebody says Beyond in passing, you have to say Beyond. That's how it is.
Oh.
It's a really old thing.
It's a really old thing.
Well, I think, how long ago was that, Greg?
What a surprise you don't respect the classics, you know what I mean? I laid all these bricks so you could have a pedestal to stand on, and this is how you treat me. You know what I mean? Where was my championship belt at IGN? Where was my pat on the back? What did I get? I got a gold watch and kicked out the plane. I'm talking to you, Per Schneider. I'll never forget. I'm kidding around, everybody, of course. No, I didn't get a watch.
I was going to say, that's very nice.
That would have been nice. No, I didn't make it. Thank you, guys. Great job on the news story there. I love you very much.
Oh, yeah. Thanks for the jump scare in the middle of that.
Again, when they say Beyond, you say Beyond. Hey, Kat Bailey, how are you?
Beyond.
Kat, I'd like to welcome to the stage right now from UCSF, Benioff Hospital, Anthony. Hello, Anthony. Come on out. Jump right there. Get in there. Get in there. No, of course. Anthony, of course, we are raising money today, all day, for Extra Life. We are raising money for UCSF Benioff. Of course, everyone should be donating. KindaFunny.com/extralife right now. You go there, you donate. If you say, I have no bucks to toss your way, it's no big deal. Of course, you could join Team Kinda Funny and raise money for a Children's Miracle Network hospital in your area. You could stream video games and raise money and talk to your friends and family and not have to leave your house and just play Baldur's Gate all day long. But Anthony, what I want to know from you is, what does this mean? What do the funds do? Why does Extra Life matter to UCSF Benioff?
Sure. Well, first of all, thank you for having me. I really appreciate this. Also, do you want to hold it? Do you want me to hold it?
You can hold it, yeah.
Can I touch it? Oh, thank you.
I just want to make sure you get close to your face.
No, I appreciate it. So, first of all, thank you for having me. Second of all, yes, this money is critical. So what we do at our children's hospital, UCSF Benioff Children's Hospital, but Children's Miracle Network hospitals across the country, your local Children's Miracle Network hospital, we treat every child regardless of their ability to pay. So what that looks like in San Francisco and Oakland, 73% of the kids that come into our hospital don't have insurance, cannot get the health care they need without our hospital. And the only way we're able to do that is donors like you. The other thing that Extra Life helps us do, and it's so critical, so we speak to the medical needs of our kids, but we also need to speak to their emotional needs, right? You're a kid. You want to have fun. You want to be at the hospital. You want to have something fun to do. You want to have video games. We have a teen lounge that I was just talking to Greg about. We've got all these video games set up for them, TVs set up for them. All of that is funded through donor money. So donors like you. And I know a lot of times people think like, oh, well, that's going to cost a lot of money. So, my $10 doesn't matter. My $5 doesn't matter. It all matters. Every single dollar that you raise goes directly to your local children's hospital to fund those fun things, to make sure there's art therapy, music therapy, pet therapy, to make sure that kids can be kids at the hospital. So it's critical. So we really do appreciate, literally, if you're there and I'm like, I only got $2, that is $2 that will be put to good use. I promise.
Nailed it. Crushed it. Anthony, thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you for having me. Great.
Our pleasure.
Thanks, man.
Thank you,
Appreciate
please.
Thank you.
Round of applause for Anthony and the Children's Miracle Network Hospital. How you doing, Kat?
Hi, Greg.
Are you having fun?
I'm having a great time. Make sure to donate now.
This has been a great Games Daily. We're having a lot of fun.
I know,
running around
having
there
a
and stuff.
blast.
Yeah. Now, here's my question for you, Kat.
Okay, Greg.
I got video games to play.
Whoa.
You were going to do this Baldur's Gate story, right? That
yeah.
they can't do speedrunning and sex anymore.
Have you not played Baldur's Gate 3 yet?
I have played part of it. Of
Okay.
course, it is not
How
nice to
far
my
are you?
controller. No, I'm very early.
Very early?
Yeah.
Oh, my God. What a game.
It is a great. This is what I was saying.
Dude,
So,
who are you romancing so far?
Shadowheart.
Oh, yeah.
At first, you land. Andy, come on out. You land with Shadowheart, and I was like, I don't know about this ball. And then we were at camp, and she showed up in this dress, and I was like, all right, Shadowheart.
Oh, you're talking about the nighttime dress?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
Don't be
Why
like me.
are you trying to correct me?
Shadowheart's so problematic, right?
But who isn't? You know,
it's one of those.
Shadowheart has a lot of things going on, but you can fix her. It's okay.
Worth it. It's worth it. Yeah, it's worth the pain that you go through.
Fair enough.
Are we gonna talk about this? Or
I don't think so. No, I mean, I was just saying I was just bringing up Baldur's Gate, and we were gonna do a Baldur's Gate story.
Baldur's Gate.
But you can read about it on IGN.com because I tried to pull all the stories from IGN.com today.
Great story from Wesley
thank you.
Inpool.
Great. Wesley Inpool all over this.
Crushing it.
I know.
Talk to me about Wesley, because you, of course, run the news department. You probably know this kid.
Well, Wes joined us back in June, and Wes is the real industry legend as far as I'm concerned, because he's been with Eurogamer, and he built their news department. Did an incredible job, award-winning reporter for them, and he came over to IGN.com, and he's based in the UK, and he's just been absolutely slaying it for the last few months. Breaking news all over the place. He's been on top of especially the Baldur's Gate 3 beat.
Yeah, of course.
Starting with the news about the bear sex and on through. So
that's when I was like, I got to play this game.
That's really when my eyes were open. Right?
No joke, though. As soon as that news broke, Steam pre-orders and wish listing went through the roof for that game.
Understandably so.
And everybody's like, I got to play this
It was like,
game.
oh, it's like that.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't know it was like that, you know?
Oh.
Yeah. I want to thank Ginger Snaps for a $20 donation. But I love that it says Greg Miller received as if it's just going straight to you.
Listen, no one's checking how much money is getting donated, all right? Don't worry about it, UCSF Benioff. It's all going to get to you one day, kind of, maybe. No, I'm like, no. It's just, we just send it to my page.
Oh, okay.
We're team Kinda Funny, but we use the Greg Miller donation page to do it. I was actually going to do that. I wanted to hop in here, of course, remind you, of course, we're raising money, as we have already said. We have already crossed our first $500
Wow.
raised. We're about to get to the next one. We are giving away, remember, a game every $500. That is cumulative, so don't worry about it. But what I want to do is make a little challenge out here, all right? I look at this. I see top donor, Yale, from IGN.
Wow.
Oh, not the
125 is
My
the top
boss's
donor right
boss.
now.
Good
Exactly.
job. Thank you.
I bet somebody watching right now can donate more than 125 to become the new top donor.
You can
and
do
if
it.
you do that before Games Daily ends, I will spin the wheel over there. That has many punishments on it. Has some nice things too. I saw eat candy. I don't know who put that on there. You know what
That
I mean?
sounds lovely.
No, but if we can get a donation, a new top donor before we wrap up Games Daily and move on to Kinda Funny, that'd be great.
We got a lot of hands here from IGN. Also, we could maybe put some just general chores on the wheel.
Oh, sure, like organize our stuff over
Replace
there.
the paper towels in the restroom, or
Are those bad right now?
like that. That's just sometimes they get really wet on the bottom cap.
Yeah, and they tear weird, and then you're like in
annoying.
the middle of trying to get back to a show, so you drop them on the ground, but you feel bad.
Yeah,
I'll get
yeah.
back to that later. You never get back.
Never
to
get
it.
back.
Never
to
get
it.
back.
Never
to
do.
It. Okay. Let's move on to the next story is what we got Yakuza stuff, right?
Yeah, the next story is you and Maximilian Scoville.
But Max, bring me Max.
He owes you money. I like right here that AC17 donated $50. You know what I'm going to do, Greg?
What's that?
Will you match me if I donate 50?
Sure.
All right, I'm going to donate 50. I want everybody to match me. Max, get the heck in here.
Come on, Maxie.
You want the iPad?
Yeah, do you mind? Yeah, wherever you want. It's easy.
Sit on the table. Hey,
Sure.
How's
How
it
you
going?
doing? Good. How are you?
Oh, hanging in there, eating a bunch of Halloween candies.
Be careful.
having treats.
It's on the white wheel apparently, so you can't eat too much.
I like. Is it like eat two candies?
Yeah.
I had a gang when I was younger called the Murder Beach Pythons, and one of the things
Was it like a real gang, or was it just a bunch of guys who hung out?
yes,
who hung out?
yes, yeah. It was called the Murder Beach Pythons. We were in Sonoma, California, a place where there's no murders, beaches, or pythons. Like it was
Hardcore.
one of the things you had to do to join the gang was eat a piece of candy that fell on the floor.
Oh
Yeah.
man.
Yeah.
How many
That's not
survived?
eating. That's
How many survived?
a lot of people couldn't make it in.
Oh my
It's a tough
gosh.
thing.
Okay.
Speaking of organized crime,
Number 7 on the Roper Report today, Yakuza spin-off Like a Dragon Gaiden was, Gaiden, right?
Gaiden.
It was originally planned as DLC. This, of course, is Ryan Dinsdale at IGN.com. Yakuza spin-off Like a Dragon Gaiden.
Gaiden.
The man who erased his name was originally planned as downloadable expansion and only took around 6 months to develop. Speaking to Automaton, Like a Dragon Gaiden writer, revealed that the idea emerged and was an interlude in a full sequel, Like a Dragon Infinite Wealth, or Like a Dragon Yakuza 8, before spiraling into its own game. Could it be any clearer, the track of this game?
Oh man, yeah.
There isn't a huge difference between Like a Dragon Gaiden and Like a Dragon Infinite Wealth, he said. By this, I mean that, in a sense, Like a Dragon Gaiden was derived from Like a Dragon Infinite Wealth. We could have just told Kiryu passed through a 30-minute interlude as part of Like a Dragon Infinite Wealth, but we decided it would be a lot more interesting as a game of its own, which is how the project came to be. Though this meant having a whole extra game to make, it still uses the same engine, so we thought, quote, it's not like we have to make it from scratch, and decided to go with it. In the end, it took us about half a year to make.
Yeah, it's just one of those delightfully transparent statements that's like, we thought it'd be more interesting to make an extra $50 for everyone who bought a copy of it,
Yeah.
So this is an odd one because basically with Like a Dragon, which I guess is Yakuza 7, the one that came out with the guy in the red jacket, Ichiban, the series shifted from sort of classical beat 'em up into turn-based.
Yeah.
And with the next one, it's still going to be turn-based, but Kiryu is in it, and he's going to have like one of his sort of special moves. It basically goes from turn-based to real-time.
Okay.
So like it just goes into beat 'em up mode.
Yeah.
So you just have to fight a bunch of dudes and it goes like, but you're like casting a spell basically. But for this sort of middle side story, it's gonna be kind of classic beat 'em up Yakuza style,
Just
which
what you
is sort
think of when you play Yakuza, or used to play Yakuza.
And it's weird because they said that Judgment, which is a different sort of side series, they said that was going to be their flagship action beat 'em up title, and that Yakuza was going to become sort of more of a JRPG type of thing.
Yeah.
So this is odd. It is. I guess I'm glad it's its own thing. It looks like a lot of fun.
Have you heard? Have they talked about how long it is?
I can't remember.
Okay.
I think it's. I mean, with Yakuza games, there's typically like, Yeah, I mean, they actually vary pretty drastically in how long they can be.
Just for them to say, oh, well, it sprung from a DLC idea. It took 6 months to make. I'm like, oh, so is it a lot shorter than what you typically get?
Yeah, I'm guessing it's going to be shorter for them to at least have it at like a so-called budget price of $20 less than normal. Yeah, I mean, I guess I'm glad it's a full-fledged thing and it's giving Kiryu a chance to shine. I'm wondering if we're going to see more of this. We were talking about like expandalones, and I guess this is sort of that, using the old Japanese nomenclature of Gaiden, which is side story.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean it's funny because like I'm trying to think if they've ever done story DLC in this series before, and I don't think they have. I could be mistaken.
KindaFunny.com/you're wrong. If that's incorrect, we'll correct it for you.
You have a URL for that?
Yeah, when we moved over to the live show, my thought was I wanted to kind of do like the PTI stat boy thing at the end.
Oh man!
Because obviously to talk every day for an hour and a half about video games, you're gonna screw stuff up, and I always want to set the record straight.
That's great. I like having a dedicated URL for that.
No problem.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, is that it?
Yeah, that was it. You excited though? You're gonna play this? You're all
I'll
about
play
this.
I actually I just got a code for it. I played Like a Dragon and I loved it. I had a really good time with it. I was like, okay, I can deal with this being a turn-based thing. And then I was like, oh, I do want to do some more beat 'em up stuff again.
That was my thing. Is I used to review a lifetime ago, Yakuza at IGN.
No way. Okay.
Yeah. And so I when it made the switch, I was like, and then I used to go back to Judgment, go out there and wail on people in the red light district.
Yeah, it's a good
Slam
time.
signs, Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, the thing that's really odd, and I just thought of this with this news, this series never dabbled with like episodic content.
Yeah.
Which was a whole thing for like 5 years or something like that.
For sure.
And I'm so.
But they still crank the games out so fast.
Exactly.
Right?
That
Yeah.
Yeah. And I mean, it's like Sega. You think that they'd be totally down with that sort of like more bite size. Like it's kind of an arcadey.
Yeah. For sure.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Well, thanks for hanging out today. I'm excited to do more.
I can just leave.
Yeah, it's Jada's here. Hey,
All right,
Jada,
Jada,
welcome back to the show. Now, I do have good news, ladies and gentlemen. I challenged you to beat Yale from IGN, and you did. All right, I said I need a new top donor. Many people came out swinging, which I appreciate, so I'm going to read a few of them, all right?
Yeah.
Because I said, you had to beat 125, I think is what it was. So a lot of people came out. They did it. Jack's Rip gave 127. Flicked gave 150 and said, eat a dick, Greg, which is a term of endearment around here.
Yeah, that's fair.
I appreciate it. Dragon 1 gave 126. But your current new holder of the top donor is Danielle Z with $300.
Woo!
Oh, there's Andy
There we
Nitro Rifle
go.
Cortez doing it.
Nice.
Now, I said I would do the first wheel spin.
There we go. Here we go.
To Danielle.
What are we gonna get? What are we gonna get? What are we gonna get?
I might spin forever.
Did you see that Drake donated $20? It was. I felt like he missed a couple zeros on that donation.
Hey, you know what? He's starting small.
He is okay.
He'll start matching soon enough.
That's good. That's good. Love to hear that.
Should have tightened it. I forget that it's gonna. If you don't tighten it, it'll keep going. It's been a while. Here we go. Lightning Reacts. I need Lightning Reacts, and then two other people to play Lightning Reacts. I said Lightning Reacts, and then I put up 3 fingers for some reason. That doesn't make any sense, but that's what we're doing. Are you familiar with Lightning Reacts?
Vaguely.
All right, great. It's my favorite game.
Awesome.
Game of the year every year, if you ask me, Kev. There it is. She's working. Oh, you can't stop it once you hit it, Kev.
Now you've got to press all the buttons.
Bring it. See, it'll shock you, Kev. That's what Lightning Reacts is all about, everybody. All right, here we go. So I've spun the wheel, and we're doing Lightning Reacts. Remember, we are raising money for the big, beautiful kids. Extra Life is
Join
what
us.
it's called.
Join
KindaFunny.com/Extra Life.
Join us. Join us. Come be our victims.
Stella, come here.
Jeffrey, come here.
Yeah, you can post
that's
on
fine.
camera. It's fine.
It's gonna be great.
This is Lightning Reacts. All right. It's the fun party game.
Are we gonna get? Wait, are we actually gonna get electrocuted?
Yeah.
Not if you hit it fastest. So grab it. Grab it!
You want to set that one up?
Yes, unique technique. This potentially could be used in the Church of Scientology.
So everybody understands? We hit the button. It'll play a creepy song.
Does it hurt?
No. And then when it'll be red, and then it'll go green, and so we have to hit it. And I'm always confused. Which one are we on? Well, extreme shock for sure. It's either. There's 2 settings. Either we all get shocked if you didn't get it, or just one of the person. No, you grabbed it, you touched it. That's how it is.
Yeah, okay. Is the shock bad enough that someone who might have heart murmurs should be concerned?
No.
Okay. All right.
Honestly, I do it, and I think the shock feels good.
Oh.
Yeah.
We're learning something new about Greg Miller today.
So we just
hit it. Ouch!
shit! I went too early.
Wait, so it's,
Yeah, there you go. You got off.
so it's when it's green.
When it's green, you hit it. But if somebody pops early, they get it. So there you go. That was it. Ladies and gentlemen, on to the next one.
You're both welcome. You're both.
Someone said a muscle relaxer for Stella.
You guys are both welcome. I bit that bullet for you.
Jada, we brought you out for the final story because it
Yes.
pertains to you and me.
It does.
Number 8, Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3 on PS5 is missing a platinum trophy.
That's why I brought my own. Was gold, but
Yeah,
you know, close enough.
Wesley Inpool at IGN.com reports, the PlayStation 5 version of Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3 does not currently have a platinum trophy, sparking concern about the structure of its launch. The PS5 version's trophy list appears to be connected to last year's Modern Warfare 2, which seems to have been restructured to act as a hub called Call of Duty HQ. Yesterday, ahead of the launch Modern Warfare 3's early access campaign, IGN reported on Call of Duty's enormous 234.9 gigabyte install on PS5. This install includes the unavoidable Call of Duty HQ, the Battle Royale Warzone, and Modern Warfare 3's campaign. It does not include other unreleased parts of Modern Warfare 3, such as multiplayer and zombies. Players are able to delete some parts of the Call of Duty games to reduce the install size. Call of Duty HQ now appears to be the launcher from which Call of Duty games such as Modern Warfare 3 can be played. But the missing platinum trophy is present and correct on the PlayStation 4 version of Modern Warfare 3, which has its own trophy menu. This does not appear to be an issue on Xbox either. Over on Steam, there's a somewhat bizarre situation that sees Modern Warfare 3's Steam achievements listed as Modern Warfare 2 DLC. All this confusion and the missing platinum trophy may have something to do with the release issues stemming from Modern Warfare 3's origins as an expansion for Modern Warfare 2. Modern Warfare 3 comes out just a year after Modern Warfare 2, breaking the Call of Duty cycle of at least 2 years between the sub-brand sequels. Activision reportedly originally planned for Modern Warfare 2 to see significant DLC this year in the form of a premium expansion, but this plan was changed to position the expansion as a fully fledged and full-priced Call of Duty sequel called Modern Warfare 3.
No one asked for that.
The repackaged Modern Warfare 3 not being a DLC?
We did not need this. We did not need this.
It's also like they already talked about how they were alternating years and stuff like that, and they broke that.
Yeah.
And it's such a strange phenomenon for them to go and break that, and then now there's these issues popping up because they cut time off of their development schedule.
Who would have thought?
Yeah.
Who would have thought,
Who
man?
thought rushing things? And, you know, I'm sure the people at Activision, the devs, they worked really hard on this to get it out the door. But we all know that it's not often in their hands when these types of things. And
yeah,
that's why we have day one patches and that sometimes don't even fix basic things like trophies, which are very important to the ecosystem for people like Greg and me and others that have culture.
Culture is a great way to put it. Give me the one. Phil Spencer. You said this wouldn't happen. You said it wasn't about Xbox versus PlayStation, but you sort of fired the first shot. Okay? I was happy just attacking the PC people. I was happy letting us all console be happy over here. But now you've called down the thunder, Phil. If you're going to come for a platinum trophy, if you're going to do the PlayStation audience this wrong, I don't like what I'm going to have to do.
Whoa, okay, all right, buddy. All right, okay.
Listen,
all right.
I don't care.
I'm not the camera.
I don't care that they're price gouging the Call of Duty players. You're all a bunch of idiots for playing the same shooty shoot game every time. But you take away the platinum trophies, that's the line I won't let happen, all right? That's where we make our stand, Stella, all right? And we can finally be on the same side.
Actually, yeah, wait, is this, yeah. We are actually on the same side for once.
Yes.
Yeah.
This is a unified
This is
front.
weird. This feels very strange. This feels
PlayStation Trophy
wrong.
and Call of Duty fans can come together. And this is what it's all about. This is what Extra Life is about.
Yes.
Bringing people together for a great cause. And the cause here is platinum trophies.
Yes.
And of course that, you know, is a DLC they're selling full price, whatever. Whatever it is. You know what I mean? It's like when you get the ticket with the president and the vice president. You back one of them, it's fine. You're on the same ticket. We're backing it. But Phil Spencer, I'm going to demand some changes here, all right? We need the platinum trophy. Period.
Jeffrey,
need an apology. Period.
Jeffrey,
I will download the game if you give me the platinum trophy as a consolation prize. Period. Jeffrey,
you're on the same front with us, right?
Yeah, no, for sure. Phil, I know you're watching this right now. Let's get trophies in Xbox.
Now you raise a very interesting point.
That is a good point.
What if we gave up on Xbox achievements and that was that? See, Jeffrey, why weren't you in the courtroom? When they were sitting there saying, we won't approve this Activision Blizzard purchase, you should have been there and said, here's the compromise.
I was too busy drawing the courtroom pictures.
Oh, you were that guy.
I was, yeah. It's kind of like sort of an artist in that way. Sort of painting a picture for the people who aren't in the room, which is most people.
I think we have some of your sketches here. Can we bring out one of Jeffrey's sketches? Can we just bring one of those out for us real quick?
That's okay. That's all right. No, yeah, all the producers are doing this, so that's probably a good thing.
I can't wait to see Jeffrey's sketch of what he'll draw today. But Stella,
I know. Yeah,
that's so
what's up?
far away.
Oh
If
my
I
God.
wanted something more immediate, say what came to the mom and grop shops, where would I go?
The official list of upcoming software across each and every platform as listed by the Kinda Funny Games Daily Show hosts each and every weekday.
Yeah. Out today, WarioWare Move It on Switch, WRC, PC, PlayStation 5, and Xbox Series X. Ebenezer in the Invisible World on PlayStation, all of them, all the Xboxes, Switch, and PC. Back to the Dawn Early Access on PC. DreamWorks All-Star Kart Racing on everything. Microsoft Flight Simulator Dune Expansion on Xbox Series X and PC. Quantum Air on PS5. Jumanji Wild Adventures on everything. FWSIM Fireworks Display Simulator releases today on Steam.
Somebody's gonna lose some fingers.
New dates for you. Arizona Sunshine 2 is coming to VR on December 7th. I think it's PlayStation VR too. Boiling Point Road to Hell returns on November 14th on PC. And then Honkai Rails version 1.5 releases on November 15th.
Really quick, I do have the courtroom drawings from
Yes!
Jeffrey. Do you want to take
Yeah,
a look?
Yes,
Let's
yes,
see it.
yes,
Let's see
yes.
it.
Oh,
it's so adorable.
So yeah, so when I was, if I can just defend myself for
Please.
a second. So when I was in the courtroom with Activision Blizzard, and again, Phil Spencer, you're watching, you can back me up on this. So when I was in the courtroom, I was actually looking out the window, and that's what I saw. So I wasn't actually drawing the court. Yeah.
Jeffrey, what happened? Did you stop taking your ADHD meds? Like we told you, we need you to stay focused to keep these jobs.
But
okay.
there was a house that was sort of floating and sideways.
Listen, I know. Is that a cat or a dog? That's a cat, right?
It's a cat, of
Yeah.
course.
Okay.
We flew you halfway across the country for this.
The cat's, it's not that bad that you don't know it's a cat.
More the little girl's
Yeah,
hair.
it's great.
Yeah.
The little girl's hair just going up for no reason.
It-
Why did you draw her like the Don't Starve kid?
I don't know what that is, but they're definitely, I can show you.
No,
they're
I see it.
well-fed.
I see it for sure. Yeah.
Also,
yeah.
someone said, "Are we sure Jeffrey isn't the illegitimate child of Greg Miller?"
Son?
Oh my God.
Yikes! This got real awkward.
Is
So
it?
awkward. Oh no.
Father-son meeting for the first
Do you guys
time.
want to play
Kevin,
catch?
can you grab my laptop so I can do your own? Thank you. Do I want to do no one?
Do you guys want to play catch? Like, you know,
sure.
father and son?
Yeah, exactly.
There's
He'll
some
go
space.
and label the photo. Yeah. Well, you know, Ben needs a big brother. You could come. You can go
Yeah.
live with us.
No. I'm down. Let's do
Okay,
it. We can
good.
play
Okay.
WarioWare Move It, which I'm really excited about.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to be playing a lot of games today. Of course, this has been Kinda Funny Games Daily. Each and every weekday on a variety of platforms, we run you through the nerdy video game news you need to know about. Of course, you can get it on youtube.com/KindaFunnyGames, twitch.tv/KindaFunnyGames live. You can get it later, of course, on podcast services around the globe and youtube.com/KindaFunnyGames. We enjoy making it for you. I'll tell you my password. You want to know? Don't rate
1,
it
2,
out
3,
loud.
4. I got
My
it.
luggage.
You should have told me that
It's
you're
the
my-
same as my
Why don't you
luggage.
tell me?
Of
wanna
course, we
double
do
mic.
that. We hang out every day. We have fun. Stella, tell me about IGN and why people should watch and subscribe to that.
Yeah, Stella.
Yeah, Stella. Have you even been to IGN.com?
I have never been to IGN. What is that actually? Like,
It's
is
a
that,
website. There's
it's
at least
a
100 of
website.
them.
What
A
is
site
IGN?
I built that you stand atop now and still don't give me any credit.
Oh, that's so funny.
Great,
I don't
great,
see.
great. You built it. What does IGN stand for?
Well, it used to stand for Imagine Games Network, but now, of course, it stands for nothing because, of course, the network had fallen apart. But they kept the name because it was so entrenched at that point. Why give it up? You know what I mean? Now, somebody, of course, slept on notgettingvideogames.com. That went to GameSpot for a long time, and I'm not currently sure about it. But you guys just kicked the crap out of them, so who cares? It doesn't matter anymore. IGN.com, #1 place in the world.
I just want everyone in chat to know the producers are going crazy right now, just dying.
That wasn't planned.
Yeah.
Well, I'm a wealth of
This
IGN
segment
knowledge.
wasn't even supposed to like.
It's so funny though. Like you say that you built it, but I don't see your name anywhere on the groundwork.
Yeah, and did you build the back end? Did you build the CMS?
I think it must have been
Okay,
the back
none of
end,
you were
yeah.
using nib, all right? If you want to talk about network in a box, you know what? We're not doing this. We're ending the show, and we're going to do Kinda Funny. Let me go through and tell you what we got wrong over here from a big show today that we did. Big Bad Beluga says, Bungie's blog post does not clarify whether the layoffs were an internal studio decision or one from higher up at PlayStation. Most of the layoffs were non-development positions, marketing, recruiting, which is likely to be handled by PlayStation now. Still sucks.
Yeah.
Big Bag of Beluga says the new K-pop skins are $50, $54 after tax. Source, I bought them all.
No! I'm so sorry.
Brad says it's not Xbox employees, it's Microsoft employees that were losing Game Pass access.
Yes.
It should have been in there. And this is also, I should point out that I've been partying. I haven't been listening to the show, so I'm just reading them. I assume maybe they got
gamer.
Stella.
Fake
One day, real CEO. All right. Ask me another iTunes trivia.
Very empty business card.
He's gonna keep going.
Kebab says, slight update to the Bungie story. The Verge reports that if Sony had not purchased Bungie, quote, that with the current Destiny 2 performance, the studio itself would have been in jeopardy if they were still independent. That makes sense. Siza says there was story DLC for the second Judgment. No Judgment was there. Okay. Oh, Kebab says currently videogames.com redirects to Giant Bomb.
Ooh, interesting.
I don't know how that got lost. You know what I mean? That was a big deal back in the day.
It's right. It's right, Ponton. He didn't correct the fake gamer claim because, you know.
He didn't. Yeah.
He didn't. You know, I love Greg to death. Greg is amazing. But, and, you know, and I will.
Specifically to death part for me.
To death, yes. Yes, 100%.
Hey, that's my dad
yes.
you're talking about.
Thank you very much, Jeffrey.
Yeah.
Your mom's proud of you. Here's what I'll say. All right, ladies and gentlemen. Just ladies, I guess, since Jeffrey's on my side or whatever. Stella, how long have you worked at IG?
I think it's coming up on 5 years, actually.
Jada?
Yeah.
Long enough.
Okay.
Don't worry about it.
I've been doing this for 17 years, all right? So,
God, you're
Stella,
old.
in 12
So old.
years, if you're still doing this, you can body slam me through a table, all right? And that's what I'll say right there.
Oh.
Whoa.
Wait, like specifically at IGN or
No,
like
just doing, oh my God, I'm not at IG anymore, you know what I mean? You'll eventually wise up, you know what I'm saying?
Oh, okay.
Well, hold on. Stella's boss is watching this, so let's.
They know I'm joking. This is all fun.
No. This is very
That sounded like
serious.
a very
there are no
binding,
jokes allowed here.
A very binding like dedication.
What
if
are you
Stella
talking about?
stays
Don't worry
for
about
another
that.
12 years, that she gets to body slam you through a table. Chat, you have seen this.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, there's a lot more shenanigans happening, but let's finish off Games Daily. Next week's your hosts are Monday. It's going to be me and Eka from Outerloop. Of course, Eka just put out Thirsty Suitors. He's coming in to host Games Daily and talk about that with me. Tuesday it'll be Blessing and Andy. Wednesday it'll be Blessing and Greg. Thursday, Blessing and Tim. Friday, Tim and Blessing. The show does not end. Again, we are going till 5 p.m. streaming for Extra Life. You see the donation link down there. You see, I always want to say the UPC code, but the QR code that you can scan and go right to the donation page. We will be spinning the wheel.
What is UPC?
UPC, that's a retail job. That's a barcode.
Yeah,
That is a
wait.
barcode, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. You guys
Yeah.
have worked retail.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, but
So you want to know how Stella, you want to know how old I am? When you used to buy the real Ghostbusters toys, Kenner would ask you to cut out the UPCs, and I'd keep them in my mom's jewelry box. And then eventually you could mail them in for something. I forget, Nor toys or whatever.
listen, in his
Usually like a
age,
hack
he
or
forgets
something.
about a lot of
Watch.
things.
Yep.
You know,
Yeah.
he gets a lot of words mixed up. He gets his stories mixed up. So, listen, chat. This is why we're here. We're
Till
here to
5 p.m. Extra Life is what we're doing, raising money for UCSF Benioff, both on all the Kinda Funny channels and all the IGN channels. IGN has taken over both our TikTok and their own TikTok and doing behind-the-scenes content. We're having a great time. Soon we'll be drinking some beers and having an even better time. But now we're going to go play a game called Kinda Funny. We're going to end games daily. Here's the one thing, if you're a Kinda Funny person, you're used to this, and if you're new in our chat, you wouldn't. The way our YouTube works is we're going to end the Kinda Funny Games Daily stream, and then you got to click on the new link. Right, Control? I got that correct? IGN doesn't affect you. Twitch, it doesn't affect you. Just people watching on the Kinda Funny YouTube. Look how Alexia's so excited it doesn't affect IGN. So, ladies and gentlemen, if you're signing off the podcast, you need to click over to the next thing, yada, yada, yada. What I will tell you right now is that this has been Kinda Funny Games Daily. Extra Life rolls on. You can donate to Team IGN/Team Kinda Funny throughout the rest of the year as we try to raise $100,000 for charity. But for right now, until you click the link and do the next thing, it's been our pleasure to serve you.
#GregSucks.